friends. This is Kris Holland, and I'm here with the Prize Foundation. Welcome to today's episode of PrizeCast. My guest today is the amazing Bob Thames from Great Raft Brewing. Bob is not only employed at Great Raft and doing a lot of great work there, he has really come out as a major player in supporting our community during the COVID-19 crisis. I want to remind everyone to join us here every weekday at PrizeCast at 12 p.m. Central for more amazing content from the world of food, film, startup, music, and more. So now that we've got that out of the way, Bob, welcome to the PrizeCast.
Hey, thanks for having me on, guys. Excited to be here today.
Well, Bob, I know that you, as I said before, you work over at Great Raft Brewing, which is, correct me if I'm wrong, the first brewery to open in Shreveport since Prohibition.
Yeah, so Great Raft was started, it's actually, 7 years ago, this October by Andrew and Lindsay Nations. We are the first, and now we're the only production brewery in Northwest Louisiana currently. Although we do have a couple of, we've got a couple of brew pubs. We are the only one that distributes our beer out to other bars and restaurants in Shreveport, and we're pretty proud of it.
So you said distributes here in Shreveport, but I hear that you guys are available kind of all over the Southeast. Is that correct?
Yeah, so we're available in all of Louisiana, all of Arkansas, Jackson, Mississippi, and then Texas, all the way from the state line all the way until Fort Worth. And so we've been in those distribution areas for about the last 2 years, but now we're kind of really starting to grow our roots a little bit deeper instead of wider right now. So it's very important for us to be able to serve our own backyard and do that in a good way. So we didn't want to get too big. And so now we're just kind of digging those roots deeper to satisfy the need in our own backyard.
Well, I think that your beer is great. Don't tell my mom. Something else that I think has been really great that you guys have done is since the beginning of the COVID-19 crisis, I've noticed that y'all have been kind of at the forefront of making incremental changes to help keep Great Raft open and profitable. Can you tell me a little bit about some of the things that y'all have done there?
We're super excited. We knew we had a big week coming up when all this stuff started being announced. We were right in the middle of March, which was a busy time for us. But we knew we had to make some immediate adjustments. So the first thing we had to do is unfortunately shut the tasting room doors. And we did that. We're still able to open and do the curbside pickup, which has just been phenomenal for us. The support that the community has shown us has been great. But we also knew we could make a couple other moves to really help out the craft beer community, especially our distributors. So we ended up buying some kegs back from several distributors so that beer didn't go to waste, and we've repackaged it and we're able to sell it. But immediately we lost quite a bit of business through the bars and restaurants. Those are kind of our backbone, but we're kind of making lemonade out of lemons at this point. We're doing what we can to keep chugging along. So we've made the necessary adjustments in-house. And it's been successful for us so far, and we're just trying to support the community to show our appreciation for how they've supported us as well.
So obviously you guys are supporting your own personal beer tenders there at Great Raft through the tips that you're getting from this drive-through program that you all have started doing. But Bob, you've come out as a major player in the community to support all the service industry workers, servers, bartenders, wait staff, people across the service industry who have been displaced by COVID-19. Can you tell me a little bit about what inspired you to start doing this support service? Tell me how much you've raised. I mean, I hear that you've raised about $13,000, quite literally $1 at a time. And I would love to hear more about what you're doing there.
Yeah, so a big part of my daily life at Great Raft is community service. When I started working here about 5 years ago, I quickly realized that the community had to be behind our products and be behind our business, or we were never going to last. And that was something that Andrew and Lindsay kind of built from the get-go. And they built this business. They didn't just build it to sell beer. They wanted to bring something to Shreveport that was good enough for anywhere in the world. A lot of times we get stuck in this rut where we say, oh man, that's great for Shreveport, or that's great for Louisiana, but we want to be great for anywhere in the world. So the only way we're going to do that is with the community support. And in my 5 years at Great Raft, we've raised over $100,000 for local nonprofits and local businesses here in Shreveport. So that's really kind of what started this. For me, I've been in the service industry for about 12 years, and I know the hardships that kind of come along with that. I know there's late nights, there's long hours, you're often felt unappreciated when you're done working. But we love our jobs in the service industry. That's really what draws folks like me. You see lifetime servers, they're that way because they love their job. And when folks were given 12 hours notice, I just knew I had to help them out as much as I could. I had a bottle of Weller Antique, which is my favorite bourbon. I had it laying around. I picked it up and I said, I'm going to raffle this off for $1 entry. And then whoever's name I pull is going to win whatever money. And next thing I knew, we were at about $5,000. And I had some folks say, hey, man, you ought to just spread this out as much as you can. You'll be able to help a lot of people. And so what we've done since, for every $100 we give $100 to a service industry person, whether that's a cook, a server, a bartender. Even managers need help right now because they're out of work as well. So we're at close to $13,000. So we've been able to give 130 $100 handshakes, if that's what you want to call it. Thankfully, most of it's been digital through Venmo and PayPal, so I have to can still socially distance and give away a couple bucks. But we're going to keep raising money. The raffles are going to keep going. The T-shirts that are being made by Ellie and Chalk that I'm wearing support City. You can contact them and get those. The proceeds go back into the cause, and so we're just going to keep this thing going as long as we can. At this point, the goal is just the next rounded number for me. So we had a goal of 5, then we had a goal of 10. Now we're at 15,000. But realistically, there's no goal. People are going to need help as long as COVID-19 is a thing. As long as coronavirus is affecting our day-to-day lives, we're going to have to give money to people. So folks can just hop on Facebook or Instagram, and I'm sure we'll share it from the Prize Guy stuff and donate money. And that'll put you into any drawing that I have going on.
That's awesome. I really love hearing about the great work that individuals are doing out here for our community members. Obviously, you've done a ton of things to help out our local community. I'm sure there are folks around the country watching this thinking, man, I wish I could do something like that for my friends, for my family, for my coworkers. What advice would you give to somebody who's looking to try to support the service industry workers in their own areas who may be displaced due to COVID?
That's a great question. And it's one that it kind of took me a long time because several folks have asked me this throughout the process, hey, should I do a raffle or should I do, should I sell something I have at home? Should I auction it off? And it's been difficult to answer. But to me, I think you really have to just do what's in the best of your ability. I knew that I had a wide network. I knew that if I threw a raffle up again, I thought I'd make a couple $100, and here we are now at $13,000. But I just implore everyone to reach into their pockets and pull out what they can to give to others around them. A raffle is certainly an easy way to raise a couple $100 for your favorite bar staff, your favorite servers, and all that stuff. But really, whatever fits your niche. If it's going over and cutting their grass, if it's cooking them dinner, if it's taking them some supplies because they can't afford them. We're very prideful folks. Service industry folks are very prideful. We, pretty much work for ourselves. We are our own product at some point. So it's going to be hard to kind of get those people to accept some stuff sometimes. But if you show the willingness to help, I think folks will really get behind it. And everybody doing their small parts, the only way we're going to get through this together. We have to support each other. Like I said, I've been lucky enough to have a network of folks behind me that are pushing me to continue to do this. And so that's really why I've continued it, but really just doing whatever part you can, whatever fits your style, go for it, put yourself out there and help folks out.
I feel like that's really great advice on a lot of levels, not to try to jump headfirst into some huge project, but to take the small steps that you need to accomplish your goal.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for me, I've always done nonprofit stuff through the brewery. I've never been, officially involved with a nonprofit directly. I've always helped set up events. I've always been to fundraisers. I've always been a big part of it. And working for Great Raft is one of the main reasons why I am so giving. But there's never really been anything that just fit me. And with as busy as I am, I always want to do things to the best of my ability. So I didn't want to run off into a nonprofit and figure out how to help them. I want to do what I knew I would be passionate about and what would continue to drive me. And thankfully, like I said, along the way, I've just had people that keep pushing me, or every time I would get down and say, man, this thing's getting kind of big, it's getting crazy. I would have somebody ping me a message and say, hey, you're doing so good. I'm really proud to be your friend, or I'm really proud to call you my brother, or whatever it is. And so it just got me excited. It kept me going and going and going. You've got to have a support network, and you may not know who that is, but you're going to find it eventually as soon as you open yourself up to helping out others.
Well, Bob, here at the Prize team, we think that you're doing a damn good job of what you're doing. And so we want to turn our attention just a tiny bit to something a little off topic. What, besides obviously what you've been doing and how happy it's been making people, what have you seen during these times that has given you hope? Hope for the community, hope for the nation, hope for the future. What makes you hopeful right now?
There's actually a lot that makes me hopeful. So I'm a very happy-go-lucky kind of person. I'm very positive to begin with, but I really see this as being really refreshing for a lot of folks. I think a lot of people are finding things to do and doing things that they didn't realize how much they enjoyed before, whether that's woodworking or lawn work or painting or music or anything like that. I think people are being given the time to do things, and that's one of the things we don't. I think we take it for granted a lot. We take time for granted. I always kind of fall back on the Jason Isbell "If We Were Vampire" song. If we knew time were endless, would we care about each other as much? And probably not, because we would know time is endless. But with time, time's running out for everybody in one way or another. And I think this has given us a refreshment period to say, okay, this is really what's important in my life. This is what's important to me and my family and my friends. And again, that could be anything from whether you want to be a more charitable person moving forward after this, or whether you have picked up a hobby that you put down years and years ago. For me, I just started kind of tearing apart a record player because it didn't work, and I've always wanted to know why. And so I think it's really refreshing knowing that we have time to do the things we always wanted to do, but also knowing that we're all in this together has been really what's helped me. I've just seen so much positivity from other folks, and so many other folks giving each other pats on the back. Support City that Kyle started at Alien Chalk. You can see the shirt. Support City was something Kyle did at Alien Chalk to recognize others, and it's been great for him over the last year, recognizing folks like Megan A. Walt and Putt Puttman and all kinds of folks around town. And then he did it for me, and it's kind of blowing up as the cause is Support City, and that's really what it's about. I see people supporting each other a lot more than we have in the past, and I guess that's what really gives me the hope that we're going to make it through this thing.
Bob, that's really awesome, and also shockingly deep. It's not quite where I expected to go, but I loved it. My final question, obviously, is really lighthearted, and it's something I've been kind of asking folks who are outside of the food prize world. I hear from people like Anthony Fallon and Chef Nima and Chef Melissa Brannon all the time about, foods that they love, things that they're cooking. I want to talk to kind of the regular everyday man and ask, when we get out of this, Bob, what is your ideal meal to come out of a restaurant? Like, you could get an appetizer at one place, an entree somewhere else, dessert somewhere else. What are you looking forward to eating when you get out of all this?
Yeah, it's a two-part question for me, because my wife and I celebrated our first anniversary at home. And so the first thing I'm going to do is take her out to whatever meal she wants and treat her like the wonderful wife that she is, and really take her out. We had a trip to San Diego planned that we didn't get to go on. So for us, we're going to go to have a heck of a dinner, whether she wants Key or Lucky Palace or Fat Calf or Zazul or whatever she wants. We're going to go get that first. After that, for me, the ideal meal, it'd probably have to be a Sunday for me with brunch. I'd walk to Marilyn's place, have some brunch, drink a beer, and then I would walk to Key Mexico, have a beer, eat some more brunch, and then probably go home, take a little bit of a nap, and then find something good, cook something good at home with the wife, cook a big Mahaffey steak or something like that. It's crazy because we've been kind of stuck at home, but still, again, it's the most refreshing thing to me. I've enjoyed cooking. I've enjoyed being with my wife, and I don't want to say I took it for granted, but I don't feel the need to go out as much, but I am excited to get out. Key Mexico, Maryland's place are top of my list. Going to brunch, seeing everybody. For me, I could be eating a greasy cheeseburger. It's all about the people I'm with and the beer that's going to be in my hand. I'm just excited to see people. I'm excited to give people hugs. I was put on this earth to sell beer and give hugs, so that's what I'm going to do when this is all over with.
Well, you heard it here first, guys. Bob's put on this earth to sell beer and give hugs, and I'm here to tell you, as one of Bob's personal pals, he's really, really great at both of those things. Just super amazing. So, Bob, I really want to thank you for joining me today for PrizeCast. I think this has been super awesome. I feel like some folks are going to get some really great information out of you. Is there anything else that you want to share with us before we go?
Just keep your eyes out for more raffles. I mean, folks are going to need help for a long time. We were lucky enough once we got to around 13,000, our first list of bartenders and servers is is completed, but there's still plenty of folks out there that need help. I set out to do this for bartenders and servers, but if it continues the way it is, we'll move into helping out healthcare folks or helping out the police department or just helping out really anybody that needs a pat on the back. This raffle is just about encouragement as it is about helping people. $100 doesn't, go a long way in this world, but for these servers and bartenders to know that we have their back, is equally as satisfying for them as it is us. But just continue to support your neighbors, support your friends, pick up the phone, call somebody you haven't talked to in a long time. It's going to mean just as much to you as it is to them at the end of the day. You're going to discover something about yourself the more you put yourself out there. So cheers. First beer's on me when this thing's over with.
Awesome. I'll take you up on that. So thanks again, everybody, for joining us here today for this awesome prize cast with Bob Thames from Great Raft Brewing. If you have ideas for how you could support your local service industry workers, drop them in the comments below and maybe we can all workshop it together and find a way to help you and your pals that are out of work as well. You can find Prizecast every day live at noon on our Facebook page, or all episodes are archived to our YouTube channel. If you like what we're doing here at the Prizecast, you can help support us today by making a donation at Give for Good. The website is giveforgoodnla.org/prize. I'm just thankful to have you all join us today, and I want to say, Viva la Prizecast!